Inferno, Canto 12. Descent into the seventh circle, guarded by the Minotaur. Those who have done violence to their neighbor are tormented in a river of blood, and when they endeavor to escape are shot at by a troop of centaurs. 3 of these latter oppose the progress of the poets, but are appeased by Virgil, and Nessus is prevailed upon to carry Dante across the stream.
Rough was the stair we came to, and there lay upon the brink such object terrible as every eye would shudder to survey. Like to the cliff which, or by earthquake riven, or wanting prop on this side Trento fell, down into Adysae with a ruin driven, so that deserved by the mighty shock, e'en from the summit to the bottom, it affords no road to one upon the rock. So rough and rugged was this dread descent, and prostrate lay before the broken pit, the shame of Crete in all his foul extent. Who in the fictitious heifer was conceived, and when he saw us come himself he bit, like one whose breast with inward rage is heaved. Him in these words my sapient guide addressed: The Duke of Athens here thou thinkest, I trow, who erst on earth thy violence laid to rest. Begone, foul beast, for he before thy sight comes not instructed by the sister now, but hither wends to view thy wretched plight. E'en as a bull springs up in the wild despair, the instant he receives the mortal blow, nor yet moves on, but staggers here and there, so did the Minotaur impetuous leap. My guide aware cried, To the pass retreat, and while he storms, do thou descend the steep. Thus we proceeded down the rocky height, o'er broken fragments which beneath my feet ofttimes gave way at such unusual weight. Musing I went, then said he, Haply thou art pondering on the ruin, guarded well by that brute rage which I have vanquished now. Know that when hereto I made descent, hence downward to the lower depth of hell, this rock was not from its foundation went. It fell, if right I judge, but just before his coming dread, who from the round above, despoiling Dis, the mighty booty bore. Trembling throughout, the infernal valley heaved so fearfully that I supposed with love the universe was seized, which 'tis believed hath oftentimes to chaos turned the world. Then was this aged rock with that turmoil, both here and elsewhere, into ruins hurled. But fix thine eyes below, for near us run those bloody waves, in which the spirit boil who harm to other have by violence done. O blind desire, O foolish wrath, that so dost spur us onward in our short-lived race, and then forever plunged us in woe. An ample trench, capacious I served, curved in a bow that so it might embrace the plain round, e'en as my guide had said. Betwixt the bank and it a narrow space, ran centaurs one by one with shafts in hand, as erst on earth they issued to the chase. Perceiving us, they all in their course restrained, while 3 advanced dividing from the band, with bows and winged arrows first obtained. And one cried out from afar, Ye who descend, what penance come ye hither to receive? Tell me, but stir not, or the bow I bend. My master said, The answer you desire, from whence we are, to Chiron we will give. Your mind was ever ready to take fire. He touched me then and spake, Lo, Nessus, who for beautiful Deianira died, and in his death took vengeance on his foe. He in the center looking on his breast is Chiron of Achilles' youth the guide. The other Pholus, by such wrath possessed, thousands by thousands around the fosse they flit, and dart their arrows at each soul they watch emerging higher than his crimes admit. Then to those rapid beasts we nearer drew. Chiron an arrow took, and with the notch his shaggy beard behind the cheekbone threw, and when his mouth enormous thus was shown, his comrades he addressed, Are ye aware that he behind moves what his treads upon? Not this the case, I ween, with spirit's feet. Then said my faithful guide, who now was near his ample breast, where both the natures meet, He lives indeed, but in such lonely plight, I needs must lead him through the valley blind. Necessity compels him, not delight. She ceased awhile her hallowed songs on high, who to my care this new employ consigned. No robber he, nor felon's soul am I, but by that virtue at whose high command I make my journey o'er so rough a track. A sign, I pray thee, one from out thy band, to show the ford across this bloody tide, and carry o'er my comrade on his back. He is no spirit through the air to ride. Then to the right inclining Turon spake, Nessus, turn backward to conduct them o'er, and drive away each troop that makes attack. Led by the trusty guide, we took our way that scarlet stream beside, whence rent the shore their cries who in the boiling current lay. Here shades immersed up on the eyebrow stood, and the great centaur said, Tyrants are here, who gave themselves to plunder and to blood. Here they bewail their guilt and cruelty. Here Alexander, Dionysius there, who years of sorrow wrought for Sicily. That forehead covered with so black a hair is Azzolino, and that other shade Albizo d'Este, with flaxen locks and fair, whom erst on earth his cruel stepson slew. Then to the bard I turned, and thus he said, Let him go first to guide us, I pursue. A little way beyond the centaur stood, viewing a tribe, who to the throat immersed, displayed their heads alone above the flood. He pointed out one solitary shade. 'Twas he in God's own fane with hand accursed, who pierced the heart o'er Thames revered, he said. Now saw I others who above the tide held up their heads, and likewise all the breast. And many known to me I here descried. Then by degrees more shallow was the blood, so that it merely reached the feet at last. And here we went across the gory flood, as you may see on this side of the strand. The boiling torrent is decreasing still, the centaur said. So may you understand that on the other side, yet lower down, the bottom sinketh by degrees, until it reach the appointed place where tyrants groan. Justice divine pours forth its vengeance here, on Attila, earth's scourge, on Pyrrhus too, on Cestus, and extracteth many a tear. By that hot boiling rivulet distilled, from Rinier Pazzo and Cornetto, who the public roads with devastation filled, then back he turned and crossed the ford anew.